Hi there, this is Daniel with End Time Country Living, and on this video I want to talk a little bit about experience I had that may help you. So this morning, as I was getting ready to take my shower, I went into the bathroom and was noticing that the floor is kind of dirty, dust and particles of all kinds of garbage that was on the floor there, and say I should sweep that up real quick, because I hate to get stuff on my feet when I get out of the shower and it's damp and get stuff stuck and I have to brush it off and things like that. So I say, I'll just go get the broom and sweep that up real quick. It's Friday, so might as well get a head start on the cleaning. So I went over there and got the broom and looked at the edge of the broom there, where the bristles are, and it's like, this is awful ratty, and maybe I should, fix that so that it works better. And so all these little thoughts come into your mind of past experiences and things like that, and it's like, I should trim that up real quick. So I went into my office to get the scissors. I think that would be a good thing to trim those up with. And then so I looked and looked. It's like, well, okay, oh God, where's the scissors? I need the scissors. Help me find them. And I couldn't find them. I looked through all the drawers, and it's like, well, they should be here. I wonder if somebody ran off with them. And it's like, now I'm kind of frustrated. It's like, I just wanted to trim these up real quick, and now it's a big ordeal because I can't find the tool I needed. And then all of a sudden it just popped into my mind as I was praying again. It's like, oh, I have my hatchet. I wonder if I could just chop the edge off with the hatchet and a board or something like that. So I thought, okay, well, let's try that. So I went out to the utility room, got my hatchet, and had a board that had been used for chopping and breaking stuff, kind of a rough board for drilling into, so like that. So I had that. So I had just a piece of board that I had there, and I had my hatchet that I pulled out. It's like, yeah, that would probably work. So I took it out on the front step out there, because I knew it put debris in different places, and I also knew that everyone else was asleep, and I didn't want to be waking them up with pounding noises in the house. So went outside, and so got the edge of the broom, so it was all kind of ratty. I didn't take off a whole lot, but I went out there and set it out there and just put a nice fast hit on there, and I was able to trim it up really nicely, and that worked really well compared to the scissors, which would have been a kind of a big pain to try to cut each little piece, and all the amount of work that would have taken to use the scissors. The hatchet was a much better choice, but the first thing that came to mind was to use the scissors, and getting frustrated that I wasn't able to find them when I wanted them. But so the thing that came to mind was that not everything that we are looking for or think that we need is really what we need, and God knows best. And so when we pray to find something that we need, and we can't find it, use that as a sign that maybe there's something else that is better that we need to ask God to show us, and to bring to our mind that hey, this would be a much better thing to do. God really knows best, and we don't. And so to trust in His wisdom, that even though we think this is what we need and this is what we want, ask Him to close the door, help us not to show us what He would have us to do instead, if we aren't able to find it eventually, or right away, or something like that. Use that as a sign. God usually will show us where things are when we need them, provide. He's very good at that, giving us the things we need. Sometimes we do need to search a little harder, and sometimes we don't always find things right away, but sometimes hey, maybe today isn't the day He wants me to do that job, and maybe it's tomorrow, and so he doesn't allow me to find it until tomorrow when I really did need to do the job or something like that. So, this is just an example of some of the things that has happened to me many times where I can't find something and I get frustrated and don't know why I'm not able to find this thing after praying about it. A lot of times, that isn't the thing I needed to be doing. And just thinking about a lot of things that are distractions, things like the internet stops working just randomly. I was like, oh, we need to get this done, or think this needs to be done, and realize that hey, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Certain things that stop working are sometimes a blessing, prevent us from wasting our time or doing something that we probably shouldn't be doing. And so just a thought that different things that we do aren't always the best, and so we need to ask God to guide us, to give us wisdom, and to show us how He would have us to do something, rather than just going in and doing it the way we think it should be done. So anyway, just wanted to give you that tip there. And so if you have a bristle broom, and also another tip here, when you store your broom, don't store it with the bristles down, because they tend to warp, move off to the side over time, and they'll get all distorted. And they also tend to, this isn't a very good surface for them to, sit on too. So a lot of times it'll fall over or not sit very well. You kind of prop it up and it'll fall or slip out. But it's best to store it on the handle. So the handle down, which is a fairly, rigid, rough surface that, it's not going to fall too much. If you have a real slippery floor, it probably would, maybe even slip more. I don't know. But also it protects the bristles from getting distorted. And you'll notice that on plastic brooms especially. I've seen a lot of plastic brooms where the bristles are all pushed to one side. And it isn't necessarily from overuse on that by pushing down on that. It's by sitting on those bristles. And so if you keep the bristles up, it'll allow the broom bristles to not get distorted. And even these, after a time, if pushing one direction, sitting on them with weight, they'll get distorted. So that's just another tip there. So if you need to trim up the bristles on your broom to make it nice and even, having a good flat surface, where they're nice and perfectly, when it's like it's new, it works really well. But once it get all tattered and rough and they're not all the same length, then they don't sweep near as well. So you can trim them up with a hatchet and a board, and maybe you have even a better method to use, but that seemed to work really, really fast and well for me. So, all right, catch you guys on the next video. God bless, and keep us in your prayers, and I'll be praying for you as well. All right, bye-bye.
Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take Him at His word, just to rest upon His promise, just to know thus saith the Lord.